Welcome back to another episode of the Sistah Talk. I am your sister, Miss BB with a Z, and this is my other sister,
Gold Chain Diva.
and we're just two sisters with a lot to talk about, and we hope the misters have been enjoying us too. I just want to announce that this is our season premiere. Welcome back. This is episode 12.
Hopefully y'all didn't forget about us. We just needed a little breaky break.
A little break, okay? But on to the next question. What's been up, sis?
What has been up?
What's been up?
Let's see. I guess I can give y'all my saddest coins because I didn't give it to y'all in a long time.
Valid.
Different day. Same stuff.
I feel it. Listen, I'm going to say the same thing. Different day, same stuff. Just, living in this crazy world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I guess if I got to indulge y'all just a little, your good sis has been doing some good fitness goals lately.
Fitness. Okay.
Walking about 4 miles, at least 3 to 4 times a week. So it's time to get this fupa up off of me.
Fupa out of here.
Be gone.
But yeah, so
It's time to
spill
the tea.
Spill the tea. We're going to start off a little bit. I know we just laughed and had fun, but we're going to start off a little bit heavy for Spill the Tea. I think it's very, very important that we speak on mental health. We speak on mental health in not only just the world, but our culture. I feel like sometimes it gets pushed aside and people ignore it because we are looked at as being strong all the time, whether we're a man, whether we're a woman, So with that being said, I want to kind of be transparent here. Lately, these past 2 weeks have been a little bit difficult between working and, listen, being a girlfriend is a job. I don't care what nobody says. I can only imagine what being a wife is. If I'm just feeling this pressure being a girlfriend, I can only imagine what being, a wife could have for me in store. I'm looking forward to it, but, it's just, a lot going on.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work.
To maintain a relationship.
Absolutely,
As we talked about before, because some people glorify, the wedding, but never really realizing how much work it takes to maintain the relationship.
Absolutely, 100%. So, I just been dealing with day-to-day things, and I feel my anxiety building, and at some point, I'm human. I can only take so much. Where I'm just like, and pulling out, my hair. So, I was looking, I'm not even going to say TikTok like we usually say, but I was looking, online, and I do plan on, and nothing's wrong with it, going to speak to a psychiatrist about my issues. I can't pour everything onto my friends. I can't pour everything onto my boyfriend, my mom, etc. So I'm, planning on actually getting help. A good friend of mine, she seeks out help as well and told me like, hey, turn your health card around, and on the back there's a number, and on that number it'll give you a whole list of people in your area that you could go talk to. So I plan on doing that.
Well, that's a really good idea. And I will take a second to chime in there and say, you're not the only person that struggles with mental health.
Right.
That's something that I too struggle with. Anxiety is absolutely one of my strongholds when it comes down to it. I worry. And as I mentioned in the previous episode, like, me and a couple of my girlfriends, like, we do like a Bible group in the morning, and that was our specific, plan that we were working on, is a plan to help us with anxiety.
Right.
And a lot of that, it comes with those intrusive thoughts, worrying about things you can't control.
Absolutely.
And it just, we also realized, it was a very pivotal moment where we realized that anxiety can present itself in so many different ways in which you even realize.
Yeah.
For a person that didn't even think that they had anxiety, not myself, but one of my friends didn't think that they had anxiety, realized that her having to be in control of certain things is a form of her anxiety presenting itself.
Absolutely.
So mental health is definitely a great topic to talk about.
Yes.
Like you said, we can only speak from the perspective of being Black women.
Absolutely.
And so from that perspective, we always have to show up. And I imagine that that's a woman's struggle in general, just having to show up regardless.
Yes.
You know, because we play so many roles. We play the mom. We play, you know, sister, friend, girlfriend, wife. There's so many roles that we have to play, whereas we show up for so many people and we fail to show up for ourselves.
Absolutely.
So yeah, mental health is definitely important.
It's super important, you know, before we, you know, because we can get into some deep, you know, conversation. I just want to kind of read something really quick. So it says Black people are far less likely to seek care. Statistics tell us that about 25% of African Americans seek mental health treatment compared to 40% of white Americans. So just reading that just shows me, first of all, the first thing that popped into my head was, you know what, it's okay to not be okay. That's like my favorite saying, because it's okay to not be okay. You don't have to be happy-go-lucky. You don't have to be, you know, jumping around and just show, like, it's okay to just be like, you know what, like, today I'm not having a good day. I'm not feeling
like myself.
Absolutely. So it's just, I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Well,
you know.
So I would ask a question there is why do you think specifically that we as Black people don't seek, you know, medical care for mental health? Like, why is it such a stigma in the Black community, from your opinion? So
to answer that question, I'm gonna use my friend's movie, Vicious Cycle.
And her friend is me.
Yeah. And I just, to be, you know, serious, like, I feel like, and I'm going to speak from a woman's point of view at this moment, I watched my mom be the strongest individual that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I would never take that away from my mother. She raised me by herself. You know, there was times that she didn't eat and I ate. You know what I mean? No matter if it was oodles and noodles and a grilled cheese sandwich. To me, that was everything when I was younger. Right. You know what I mean? So I feel like at this young age, we're shown from who we look up to at that moment that we have no choice but to be strong and keep on going.
Regardless.
Yeah, like we have no choice. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And I notice within myself, a lot of times I'm like that. Like, I'm like, I don't want people to see me cry. And it's crazy because I'm I'm an emotional person. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. You'll know how I feel by looking at my face, by seeing how I react to stuff. But like physically being that vulnerable where you're just like crying and you break down.
And I think I have this conversation a lot with some of my other friends in some other circles where we talk about how as Black people we're not given the opportunity within our homes, within our family structures to actually express ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, we're always told, like, what are you crying for?
Absolutely.
Like, especially young Black boys, what are you crying for? Stop crying like a little girl.
Yeah.
Like, we're not, where it's like, do as I say, not as I do.
Absolutely.
We're not able to ask questions about things that we don't understand. And so therefore, you know, a lot of times we're not even taught how to manage our emotions.
Absolutely.
One of the, like I always say, growing up, I never realized that the only emotion that I know how to properly convey is anger.
Because it's easy.
It's easy. It takes no thought.
Nope.
When it comes to being vulnerable and open and expressing, you know, if I'm sad or if I'm upset about something, that doesn't come as easy as anger.
Right.
And I think we have the tendency of, you know, in the Black community to just sweep things up under the rug. Now, from a more modern perspective of that, I feel as though, you know, and I'm sure you may have seen this because we're both millennials, that millennials are often attacked on the media for being crybabies and, you know, oh, well, we didn't do this as kids and now y'all just got all these feelings. Y'all just need to shut up and do this and this and that.
Listen, because back in our day,
It's nothing wrong with expressing how you feel.
Absolutely.
And the fact that I think a person can even feel comfortable enough to open their mouth to tell us that we're too entitled, that we should just shut up and just deal with whatever, that's a problem.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you anymore. I don't know. I just, at this point right now, I have to block out everything else and I have to think like, okay, like I need to take care of me. I can't focus on everything else. And there's times where I have to take a break from my friends, and I have to take a break from my significant other, and I have to take a break from my family, because that's important. And I know in one of our, earlier episodes, we talked about taking care of us. Not worrying about everybody else.
I definitely think it's important to, absolutely take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
And I think that, in the past, that was not something that their parents was taught. Like,
No.
It was like really just a survival thing.
Yeah.
So like, they survived so we could thrive.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now that we're able to not carry that same struggle that they carried, it's time for us to take the baton and move forward.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like, I can't express how much, like you said, from the film, Vicious Cycles. Like, a lot of this stems from strongholds and generational curses that presented itself in our families.
Absolutely.
And we don't even realize that, because some people are like, oh, it's not that deep. But everything really has a deeper root.
Absolutely.
And you really got to get to the root of why you feel the way that you are. Some people don't even realize that sometimes it's nothing that you're specifically doing or encountering. It really could just be your genetics, in you.
Yeah.
Like, the trauma gets passed down from generation to generation. It's something that you can't even explain.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm realizing that my family structure, we deal with anxiety. And it's something, and I hope that some of my family members are watching this, because I'm not sure that they have thought about it in this way. But, we've talked a lot about the family structure changing, whereas now we're not getting together as much as we used to.
Yes.
And so I feel, in my family specifically, the older generation, they have a problem with being around each other. And I totally believe that we all carried, one thing I realized is certain people point out certain traits in other people in my family that they don't realize that they present in themselves. And something that I paid attention to was that we all, in situations where we feel frustrated or overwhelmed, and the Arringtons chime in the chat, when we feel frustrated or overwhelmed, it presents itself in a rah-rah type of way.
Gotcha.
And that doesn't always, the person on the opposite end of that doesn't always understand that it's just my reaction to feeling overwhelmed or out of control, or whatever the case is, like feeling a little unsafe in whatever the situation is, because it comes off so aggressive.
Gotcha.
And so all we get fixated on is the aggression.
Right.
So I think when it comes to mental health, we got to ask ourselves, dig deeper. What's the root? What's the root?
What's the issue? Dig deeper. Definitely. Kind of just to wrap everything up. I remember when we did have that conversation on one of our episodes about families not being the same and not getting together as much, and I just want to show growth from that. We actually are, we're talking to you guys, but I'm taking my own advice. Short story, I actually made a text group with my cousins, and we've been on a daily basis. Maybe it's not every day, but everybody's busy and has kids.
On a regular basis.
But on a regular basis, we talk. We say, hey, good morning, love you guys, hope everybody's having a good week. And just that little bit of is enough for me, because I know my cousins are doing okay, and we actually are planning on going on a little trip, like a cousin trip together. So,
I will take because I know we said we wanted to wrap it up, but I will say one other thing, because on the last episode before the break, we talked about a little on Married at First Sight, and I think that it's important to kind of touch on a little about how mental health can present itself in the things that we consume.
Absolutely.
Because it's deeper rooted. For those in the spiritual world, we know that, music, TV, all that stuff has spirits attached to it.
Absolutely.
But we don't really pay attention to how that actually takes form in our everyday lives.
Absolutely.
And so I think that it's important to say, our experience.
Yes.
Because we really had a heart-to-heart moment where we both realized we were watching Married at First Sight, and one of the couples on there, it triggered us.
It was a huge, oh my gosh, a huge
and it sent
trigger.
Really both of us into a spiral of emotions.
Absolutely.
That we had to really think about on our own, okay, am I feeling this because I was triggered by that? Right. Or am I feeling this because I'm actually feeling this?
Yeah, because listen, if anybody else that's watching this has watched Married at First Sight and they are in a relationship, I know it caused some type of, whether you're married, just started, been together for 5 years, like it caused some type of, not an argument, but just a healthy discussion.
Right, yeah.
Because you look at your partner and you're looking at yourself like, okay, well, I'm seeing this. So what would you do? Or how do you feel about that? And then it's just like, because I did it in my relationship. I watched it and I was on my man's ass. I'm like, listen, this. And he's like, oh my gosh, you're watching that show again? And I'm like, yeah.
Look, that's when you gotta realize that it is a problem. Like when your partner looks at you and say, "Oh, you watch that show again?" It's a problem. Like, girl, she went off the deep end.
Listen, went off the deep end. So I don't know. Yeah.
It's just because watch what you consume as well. And this battle of mental health, this race of mental health that we're trying to, overcome, it definitely just shows us how important it is to monitor what's going in as you're kind of decompressing and releasing some of those things too.
Absolutely.
So good luck on your journey with therapy,
Thank you.
Because I feel like I need therapy as well. And I'm still trying to get, like, I have no problem with talking to a therapist.
Yes.
But I think it's still that stigma to me. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, I can handle this. You know what I mean? And then even with God being the center of my life, I'm like, oh, but God, anything is possible. Right. So do I really need to speak to a professional? But I think that the way that anxiety has been showing up in my life lately, like unpredictably and like taking a form in my life that I've never seen it take before, I do feel like it's getting to a point where I probably should seek out help. So hopefully following your path.
Well, listen, I'll let you know how it goes, and I'll try to be as transparent, because what people don't realize, it's hard when you're in front of the camera to be transparent, but I'll try to be as transparent and walk everybody through my journey. So,
good luck. Send positive wishes to our sister on her journey. And we send positive wishes to you all too.
Absolutely.
Well, I would say on a lighter note, but it's not too light.
Yeah.
We always got some mess for y'all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, at this point, the story will be a little obsolete for you all as you are watching this. However, it's still something that we would like to talk about. Because it's relevant even outside of the actual story. So, as you all know, that Angel Reese, a player on the LSU women's basketball team, she is from Baltimore, Maryland. She is from Baltimore.
Hey, Baltimore. Let me see. Baltimore get crunk. That's for the B-more people. They know what that is. Anyway, so she's on the LSU basketball team. Played in the March Madness championship. They won the championship against Iowa. Now I'm sure everybody has saw the story unroll on social media and saw the pictures of her like this. And I was confused when I first saw it. I was like, did she get engaged or something? Yeah. Like, what is this about? Because I love basketball, and I do love women's basketball, but I'm just saying I'm guilty of not watching it as much as I want to. Okay.
But the story behind the whole gesture was that her counterpart that played on the Iowa team, Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
She is a young white woman.
Okay.
Who, during her basketball career has made a name for herself being a very aggressive, and I will call her aggressive.
Okay.
Because she has not been called aggressive. Being an aggressive basketball player, where she is known for her antics and tactics of getting in somebody's face and doing stuff like this. Had a whole ESPN special ran on her of her teammates being interviewed and asking how they feel about her, and she gets us pumped up, we just love it, all this positivity and great things. Right. But then when we get into this championship game and Angel Reese and the LSU basketball team, they're up, and now she takes the opportunity to give her a taste of her own medicine. Now instead of it being great sportsmanship and being this positive picture, now sis is becoming classless. And now we throwing words around like ghetto and thugs again, as we know that they like to paint the picture around black people. And so it really bothered me, because I'm just like, why when there's a clear double standard?
Clear.
Very clear. Nobody even batted an eye when it was the white girl. It's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when I do it.
Fuck them.
And what did she say? She said that she was like, I'm doing this for all the black girls like me. I'm standing up for what I believe in, and I'm glad that she took that stance and she spoke out about it.
Absolutely. And not only did she speak out for herself, but she also, and I hope I don't butcher this name, spoke out for Sha'Carri Richardson as well.
And I'm glad she did.
Yeah.
Because Sha'Carri Richardson is also another black woman who gets put on the chopping block
Absolutely.
for every little thing that she does.
Her nails, her weave, her eyelashes, like 3 things that I just mentioned, I have on me right now. Lashes and nails. And weave. Hold on. I forgot weave too. Like, it's very, I can't even say disheartening. It's just very upsetting. Like, this girl is celebrating the fact that she just won this amazing award. You know what I mean? And I'm just very upset. I want to see what this Caitlin Clark looks like because I don't know.
Yes, we're going to put up a picture of those young ladies. I mean, since I'm sitting here with this handy dandy laptop. I will show you a picture.
Okay.
I'm not going to say how I feel about the young lady because I don't want them to cancel me on this episode of the Sistah Talk. They allowed me to come back for another episode.
Yeah.
So I would like for them to let me stay here a little while longer.
Absolutely.
Oh, shit. Laptop is dead. Anyway. But furthermore to that story, while I'm looking up this picture of this young lady, furthermore to that story is, so it's a ritual and a expectation that those who win the championship go to the White House to partake in, I guess, a dinner or a meeting with the president.
Girl, I seen. She said, we ain't going.
Well, so listen, let's give you the backstory on that. So Jill Biden, the president's wife, the first lady, the reason why she made that comment as to we not going is because Jill Biden put her own foot in her mouth, and in one of her conference or press conferences or whatever appearances that she was at, basically she said, well, I think both of them should come to the White House. Both teams deserve to come to the White House.
Why?
And that's what her point was. Her point was, well, if it was the other way around and we were the ones that lost, we would not be coming to the White House.
Exactly.
And so, obviously, she backtracked and said, no, these girls deserve to come. They're the winners, whatever. And so, that's why Angel Reese took the stance that she said and said, we're not coming. But she has currently recanted her statement as well and said that she's going to be a team player for the sake of her team. And she knows that they're looking forward to going. So now they're going to go to the White House. And furthermore, to add to that, they didn't want to go because apparently, people do March Madness brackets and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Joe Biden had LSU falling off in like the second round. And so, of course, they feel a certain type of way.
Yeah, they feel slighted to the 15th power. When you're in any type of sport, and I can only relate to cheerleading, if anybody is making my team lose, you didn't believe in us in the first place.
And I agree. I agree. I agree that if the shoe was on the other foot, they would not have been offering the invitation to LSU.
I believe that as well.
Yeah,
I believe that as well.
But this is the picture of the young lady, Caitlin Clark.
She looks like a Caitlin.
She does look like Caitlin. But what I will say is, I mean, from what I saw, she definitely looks like she's a beast on the court. We're not gonna take that from her.
No.
But literally,
if she's aggressive, she's aggressive. Maybe Angel Reese is aggressive. Okay.
From what I saw though, Caitlin Clark is absolutely way more aggressive than Angel Reese was in her moment that she took. This girl is really like, I'm gonna get in your head, I'm in your face, like, what's up?
Oh no.
Angel Reese just did it off the strength. It was a real quick, and she kept moving. It wasn't even on that type time. It wasn't like she was doing that the whole game.
Right.
She wasn't being extra. This girl is extra on a regular basis. So if y'all want to play double standards, like, come on now.
She's okay to do it because she is
palm color.
Okay, that's why she's okay to do it.
I don't know.
She gets a pass.
Like, I mean, as black women, we're always under a microscope. We're never allowed to express ourselves because when we do, we're the angry black woman.
And I always got a little short story.
Okay. Bless us.
Me and my one friend, we go to the welfare office. We're going there. I mean, as you know.
Like, paint this picture. Is it a white friend?
It's a white friend.
Okay.
She knows I love her.
I figured you was going to say
But it's a white friend. Okay. She's white, I'm black. We go to the welfare office.
And they look at you.
They asking me. She's talking and they're asking me, well, how can I assist you? I said, we're not here for me. We're here for her. And their face just was like, and this was a white lady that was at the desk. So I'm just going, it's a short story. That's it.
Look, that's it. That's all.
That's it.
Message.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, it definitely is. It shows you how unconscious bias is a thing.
Yeah.
And I blame the media.
Absolutely.
I blame the media because we see it all the time in stories, even when our black men are getting shot in the streets like animals. We see the stories all the time where, he's not a victim. He's not, these nice, kind words. He wasn't a scholar. He wasn't a father. He wasn't, an achiever, a philanthropist. Mm-hmm. He was a thug.
Right.
They find the one little thing, one little blemish. But yet we got these serial killers that clearly killed people, but yet they were upstanding young men in their community, and they got mental health issues.
And straight
we don't get that same type of judgment.
I know, and it brings me back into the fact of Sha'Carri Richardson. It was a big issue, when she wore her nails, when she wore her eyelashes, when she wore her weave, and then you take a look at yourself and you're just like, listen, I got weave, I got lashes, and I got nails, And you start to realize that they're picking apart everything that we are as women. Absolutely. Absolutely
And
everything.
it tells us it's not okay to be us. But, as we said before, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
So.
It's that time again, guys. For Conspiracy Talk.
Conspiracy. Okay, so we're going to start off with the fact that the Cash App creator lost his life. Mr. Bob Lee, you know what I mean? Send my condolences out to his family, his friends. It's really unfortunate. Supposedly he got stabbed outside of his hotel, don't quote me, hotel in San Francisco. And it's just, is this a conspiracy or not? And what leads it to be a conspiracy is the fact that after, I want to say, it couldn't even have been 24 hours after he, got killed, our government...
Or unalived, if we're going to post this on TikTok.
Unalive. got, our government came out with this new Cash App. It's not called Cash App. I think it's called FedNow.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's called FedNow. But, came out with this... And yes, it is FedNow. So it came out with this new type like Cash App system for us to use. And at this point, everybody is conspiring the fact that they want to track where we spend our money. They want everything going through one system.
Well, since this is conspiracy talk, I guess we can say this is that one world order, that new world order that we've been hearing about for so many years. Mm-hmm. It's finally coming into play. Mm-hmm. And this is also a topic of conversation that comes up at a very convenient time when now the U.S. dollar is now losing its value. Super losing its value. It's crazy. Because they're starting to say, now, digital currency. They've been saying that for a while. Digital currency is going to be a thing.
Absolutely.
We're no longer going to be able to, access physical cash money. We may get tied up where we won't be able to get the money that we have already in the banking system.
Because it's going to be worth nothing.
Right. They're going to limit how much we can actually access of our own money and funds. And it's a very scary thing to think about. It's very scary. And
you want to know what's crazy? Now that I'm thinking about it, back when we were, I want to say maybe right after we graduated, I was still working at the West Manchester Mall. I started to notice right in front of Finish Line, if anybody remembers, there was a sell your gold. Mm-hmm. And now that you think about it, what is our dollar back behind? It's back behind gold. So maybe this was the start of it way back then and we didn't even realize. They want us to sell their gold so they can have something to back the dollar up because the dollar might have already been losing value.
Yeah, I feel like the dollar definitely hasn't had value in a long time. Now you got countries like China and Russia where their money is way far worth more than
absolutely.
what the U.S. dollar is worth. I mean, China has been a superpower for a while. So what does this mean for our country now that our dollar is worthless?
And not to mention, you have China, you have Africa, you have Russia that's teaming up and building some type of alliance that we know really nothing about. We just know that they're coming together and leaving America out of it.
Well, like I said, send me a ticket to Africa. One way. No round trip. I just want to go there and I never want to come back.
Listen, I'll build my hut. Hopefully, well, listen.
Where we going, sis? We going to
Wakanda. We're out. Listen.
We outside. Okay?
We outside.
Yeah, find me some vibranium so I can trade it and say I'm staying here.
And this ain't even on conspiracy talk, but you know they found a rock like that. And I'm just throwing this little. They found a rock that creates that same power. So anyway.
Interesting. Interessante.
Exactly. So,
I've been on this Spanish kick lately. Where I just been speaking in Spanish. I don't know why.
I'm here for it. I really am. So.
But yes, oh my God, that's just, I don't know. That's just so crazy to me.
Yeah.
Let me just pull my little $3 out of the Cash App right now. Let me cash app.
I only might have 50 cents, but listen.
It's just ridiculous. But I mean, as we know about our country, I mean, it's not unlikely that this person was unalived because they wanted to implement something different that they can control.
Absolutely.
And I'm really going to be upset if they get rid of things like Venmo and Zelle and all those other things that we use because Zelle is convenient.
Listen, they plan on getting rid of all of that stuff. PayPal, Venmo,
But
Zelle.
my thing is like, why do they want to figure out where we spending our dollars at?
They want control.
But the thing about it is they already have that control. Every time we swipe our card, it leaves a paper trail of everything that we do.
Listen.
So what are you really trying to say? I really don't think it's about monitoring how we're spending our money. I think it's giving us access to our money to spend it in the first place.
We're not going to talk about how when we're born, and listen, we might have to have Mr. Malcolm on here because he will have you like,
I'm about to say, and we mentioned this, what you about to say. You mentioned it briefly in one of the other episodes.
How our social security number is actually a bank account. It is a bank account. We are born into this world with money already. So it's like we're borrowing from ourselves and having to pay it back. But I'm going to just not say too much and just leave it at that. It gets deep where it has you thinking like, they've been crooked since the time we came out of our mom's wombs.
Yeah. I don't know that we don't always like to talk about politics or whatever the case may be because it can get a little heated as we found out on previous episodes. But I mean, I think that most people can agree and say that although Donald Trump was not the best president, you know what I mean? He was not the best president. However, Make America Great Again was a thing. Even though Make America Great Again, you know, on the outside looking in, and when it came to the media, was like a terrorist group, because I mean they wouldn't call it that, but I'm going to call it that.
Right.
Was a terrorist group. Make America Great Again stood for something.
Yeah.
It stood for, okay, Donald Trump is now trying to make America sufficient, self-sufficient, where now we're drilling and getting oil from our own resources.
Yes.
Now we don't have to depend on these other countries for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of black Democrats, even black Republicans, voted for Donald Trump for that reason, because we know for certain that this man was a great businessman. And he was making great power moves when it came to, you know, the betterment of this country when it came to that. Now, as far as who he was in bid with, as far as Russia, I don't know. Because I'm a little worried when it comes to Russia now. Because you got to think about it. Not only were we having trouble with him being in bed with Russia while he was in the presidency, but now you got to think about it. We got whole separate problems with Russia right now when it comes to TikTok and them gaining our information.
Absolutely.
So Russia, I'm curious to know what Russia has up their sleeve at this point. Because it's something. It's very much something.
Listen, it's very much something, and it's obvious that they don't like us Americans. It's obvious like they really don't care for us. And once again, let's be honest, this is something else that creates anxiety in our culture at the moment. And I can't even say it's just a culture thing. This is a everybody thing.
It's uncertainty, because you got to think about it. Even on top of that, even though everybody's not actively wearing masks or quarantining like we were back in 2020 and summer 2021, we're still in a pandemic technically.
Yes, we are.
And so on top of that, you got all these other issues that's happening on top of that. People not making the type of money that they want to make to be able to provide for their families, not being able to pay their bills. It's a lot of people out here concerned about so many things. And then to add on the uncertainty of the US dollar in the first place, it's just like, what the F?
Yeah, like what is going to happen? What is next?
But, I mean, the people in the church always say Revelations is playing itself out right now. I've been too scared to read Revelations. But that's something that I got to read. Because some of that stuff apparently is happening right now. We're in a different time. But, is it conspiracy? Or not? But I'm leaning more towards conspiracy.
Me too.
So let's see how this unfolds in our lives over the next couple of months or so. Well, mine is not as heavy.
Okay.
This has nothing. My conspiracy talk has nothing to do with your everyday life, but it's things that you may be interested in knowing about. So, we all know that Mr. Marque Houston, Mr. First we gotta get butt naked. Okay.
Hey. Oh, I'm sorry, I had a moment. All right.
But yes, Marque Houston, famously known for his role as Roger Evans in Sister.
Absolutely.
I don't care how old this man get, I'm gonna always be like, go home, Roger. Okay.
Absolutely.
We've heard a lot about this man in the media over the years, especially in relation to his relationship with Chris Stokes.
Okay, yeah.
Because you know that he's experienced allegations when it comes to, molesting members of B2K and such. So we saw in 2020 that Marque Houston, after seemingly not being in the media for a while, popped out with a new young wife.
New, young, tender, running.
Now, at the time, she was 19. And at the time, he was, 39, maybe 40.
First of all, that is old. 39, 40. Okay, like, we're 30. Going to be 31. You're going to be 25 forever. I'm going to take it out of her mouth before she even says it. But 39 to 40, and she was what? 19. She just became legal.
I gotta tiptoe because in my life experience, and a lot of people don't know this about my life.
Okay.
But my stepmother is substantially younger than my father.
Okay.
So I'll just leave that there because I don't want nobody to say I done said something about them. I ain't insinuating nothing. That's just the facts. You want to leave it there. Okay? It don't have nothing relevant to this. As far as age, that's it. That's all. We're not saying nothing that we ain't saying. Get that straight. Okay. Now, when it comes to Marque Houston and his wife.
Absolutely.
Listen, because black people blow stuff out of proportion. Yeah. I ain't saying nothing about you.
Listen.
I love you to death, sis. You my mom. Adjacent. Okay?
Yeah, there you go.
But no, listen. So, but it's just the facts. Now, when it comes down to Marque Houston, Marque Houston is 39. His wife was 19 at the time. They shortly after had a child within the first year of them being married. Now, the conspiracy is this. Now, prior to him surfacing with his wife in 2020 and announcing that they were married, this woman seemingly did not exist because she was a missing person from registered at the age of 15. She was registered as a missing person in 2016. There are actually missing persons ads or papers that have her on there who they're allegedly, because the name says Mayana Juanita Dickey, which is Maya Dickey, but whatever.
Right.
But basically, they have these postings that were existing on the internet. Apparently, that have been scrubbed off the internet since that this has become a thing. Can no longer find those unless you just happen to come across a content creator who caught it before it was gone. But she was aged of 15 in 2016 when she said when it said that she had went missing. Now, she was adopted by a woman in Oregon.
Okay.
When the time where she went missing, it said that were basically assuming that she had run away to California to be with her birth mother. That was what they assumed.
Okay.
Now, come to find out, now a lot of people, if you're following this on the internet, is saying the math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing. Because now you got Marque Houston that's saying, okay, I got this 19-year-old wife. We did not pursue anything until she was legal.
Okay.
But at this point, I want to say she's about, 22, 23. But they've been knowing each other, been together for 10 years. Make it make sense, Lord. They've been knowing each other for 10 years. Now, to furthermore that point, if apparently, now this has also been wiped off the internet since, basically it's saying that the IMDb, which is, I don't know what the abbreviation is for, but basically, it's where like the movies and stuff like that, like it shows their film history and stuff.
Right.
So apparently she was accredited on IMDb for being an art director for some of Chris Stokes' movies. So it is clear that she has been in the picture, even at the age of 15, 16. What the hell was she doing as an art director?
Right.
She's been in the picture as early as we know as 2016. So she's been around. Allegedly, Marque Houston is saying that he was introduced to her through Chris Stokes' daughter, which is the same age, maybe not, I don't know, maybe a little old, I don't know, the same age as Maya.
Yeah.
And that's how they were introduced to each other. So he's under fire right now for grooming his wife. Basically taking this 15-year-old girl, keeping it under wraps. There's no pictures of them, like, behind the scenes, like no type of picture evidence that they've known each other for this long, other than that IMDb. And then now you come out all of a sudden, and once she turned 18, they got married within 11 days after her 18th birthday. Or however, because certain sources say she was 19, certain sources say she was 18, but nonetheless, we know it was a very short period of time when they got married. So if that's the case, what if you didn't know this girl? What was it in that short amount of time from her being legal? How would you know that you wanted to marry this young lady?
It's giving child molester.
Yeah, and he's doing everything he can to kind of backpedal on this, saying that the IMDb was a misprint. How Sway?
Yeah,
How Sway? So her name just ended up there. How Sway? Then I think that it gets even more creepy because then we got people going in a rabbit hole that actually follows Marque Houston on social media. So those who don't know, he's a devout Jehovah's Witness. So he's kind of standing behind his faith as a Jehovah's Witness to kind of justify this activity. Now, when it comes down to it, apparently he had a countdown on his story that was counting down to apparently her 18th birthday.
No.
And when the countdown was over, is when he finally posted like a sunflower or something like that, was imagery of her actually being a woman, and that's when she started coming out and they started announcing that was his wife.
What? Oh, hell no. What? So much stuff happens right in front of our eyes and we don't even realize it. Dang.
Now, the real conspiracy is that, obviously I said the missing persons report is saying that she was missing because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But the conspiracy is, was she really missing? Or did these men kidnap this girl and put her in a position where she had to play her role? Conspiracy?
Or freaking not.
I don't know. All I can say is she looked quite happy to me. I don't know.
We're definitely going to put up a picture of them too. What?
She looks quite happy to me. I can't call it one way or the other. But what I can say is Chris Stokes and Marque Houston track record is not great when it comes down to the shady stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody has really spoken out other than Razby and oh my God, what is his name? It's another young R&B singer that was of that era. I cannot think of his name right now, but he did an interview. Well, he didn't do an interview, but he was recorded on the phone with Razby and some of his conversations where he admitted to being molested by Marque Houston and all that type of stuff. And then you got an interview.
So Marque Houston was doing the molesting too.
Yes.
With
Chris Stokes. So this is how it goes. So apparently Chris Stokes and Razby had a intimate relationship. And he was forced to do things with Chris Stokes. Now, I will say that I believe Raz-B because I was watching a older type of documentary that's similar to Cribs. Because, I love B2K, so I'm watching everything B2K. Where they went down the line of, okay, all these men got houses, right? So the first house they go to is a house with just Chris Stokes and Raz-B, where they living together. And all the rest of the guys. So then you got a house with Romeo from IMX, Omarion, and J Bug, I want to say. Or it might have been, I don't know. But nonetheless, however it breaks down, they were in a house. And then you got Fizz and this one and that one in another house. But why was Chris Stokes and Raz-B ever in that house, just them two?
And see, I was under the impression that Chris Stokes and Raz-B were cousins.
And I'm sure they are. But even with that aspect of it, it's like, I would want to be with my bandmates. I would want to be with one of them.
Yeah, I don't want to be with you.
Like, why wouldn't you put, like, the obvious choice would have been put one of them older dudes in the house with Chris Stokes. Well, let Chris Stokes have his own house. Why you got these young niggas with you? But yes, to answer your question, it said that because Chris Stokes has been in Marque Houston's life for a very long time. And so they're saying that Chris Stokes groomed Marque Houston. And basically in his grooming process, he groomed him to molest younger men. He was forced to have gay relationships with a lot of those younger men. So, I don't know. And, you got one of the most popular interviews that Omarion did on Vlad TV, where around the time where all that stuff was going on with April Jones and everything. And he was asked about whether he believed or knew anything about the allegations that Raz-B was putting out there. And Omarion clearly said, I don't know of anything 100%. Like, I never was around for anything. I didn't see anything. However, I do believe him. Because the level of trauma that he experiences, something happened. You don't normally get those type of reactions if nothing ever happened.
Right.
And I believe him. And I'm watching the new documentary, the Omega documentary that Omarion has on All Black Channel right now, going over the Millennium Tour. And I can say, Omarion, just the person that he is, he was there for Raz-B. He was there for him. In the midst of all his breakdowns and episodes that he had during that tour, where his other bandmates, like J Bug, was antagonizing him. Because I don't know if you so during the tour, were you aware that, Raz-B went on his tangent and he quit the tour, right?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
Well, I lived it, okay? Because I was just like, oh my God, we finally getting this concert. And then now he not on the tour anymore. Like, the tour is not going to happen. Like, the sales plummeted. People was not with it. So, they obviously got him back. When they got him back, they realized, so J Bug had a shirt that said, I don't feel safe. Apparently, J Bug was antagonizing Raz-B behind closed doors, talking something about Chris Stokes or whatever the case may be, and Raz-B didn't feel safe. And so he put, I don't feel safe on a t-shirt. This is J Bug. And that triggered Raz-B a whole second time. He was triggered the whole time on that concert. He ended up going to jail during that concert. He didn't even finish out the tour.
Wow, I need to watch this Omarion thing.
Listen,
You said it's on the All Black channel?
All Black, girl.
Okay, I have that, so I'm gonna have to tune in. Yeah, I'm interested.
But I just derailed for a little while because you can't talk about Chris Stokes and Marque Houston without talking about B2K. You have to.
Yeah.
But is it a conspiracy or not? I believe, and this is not the first time in history that we've heard about child brides or anything like that. It's a common thing where people are raising up their brides. So, I mean, it's just not common in 2023, but I believe it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's super crazy.
Look, it was a whole mouthful for y'all.
Yes, but
What?
God's name.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I know one thing. We're going to be moving on to uncancel culture.
Uncancel
culture. But one person we won't be uncanceling is Chris Stokes.
No.
Now, I be on the fence about Chris Stokes. I'm going to tell you why.
I don't even...
Low key, what? You don't know who Chris Stokes is?
I do, but I just didn't really... he's a nobody to me.
The reason why I pay attention to... Well, obviously, because I'm a diehard B2K fan.
Yeah.
And I'm also a person who has watched literally all the House Party movies.
Okay.
So you know Chris Stokes took over the House Party franchise at a certain point on the one, movie where IMX was in it, Immature.
Yes.
So that's when Chris Stokes became relevant to me. Now, Chris Stokes is now relevant to me today, and you probably didn't pay no attention, as a lot of those TV movies with Erica Mena is produced by Chris Stokes
and
Marque Houston.
Yes.
Great movies.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I would total offense of even considering to uncancel Chris Stokes at some point. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Chris Stokes. We're here to uncancel somebody that y'all normally give crap to.
Who we gonna cancel?
My lip gloss is popping. My lip gloss is cool. All the girls need chocolate because I'm chasing me. I don't even know the words no more.
What you know about me? What you know? That's all I remember. Okay.
Look.
Listen.
I swear we used to do. That was when all the girls used to wear pastries. I ain't never had pastries, and I wanted them.
I'm not gonna lie to you, so did I.
I wanted some pastries, and I wanted some apple bottom jeans, and I never got either one of them.
I've had some apple bottom jeans. I
never had an apple bottom, so I felt like, what's the point of me putting on apple bottom jeans if I ain't got the bottom?
I'm not gonna lie. At this age, I should not have been wearing no apple bottoms. But I had a pair of apple bottoms. Middle school.
Well, I feel like that was when they were popular. I feel like that was
that's a little inappropriate with apples on your ass.
I mean, all the girlies was wearing them back then.
I know. But
all the girlies was wearing. A lot of things was questionable during our generation, but we did it.
Yeah, very true.
But even with that being said, the generation that's coming up now are way more risque than what we were back then.
Girl, people's prom outfits nowadays be looking like they going on a wedding.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
they be spending money. Like, it ain't even that deep.
Listen, I went to Renaissance, but listen, we getting off topic.
Listen, we can talk about Renaissance on a different thing.
Okay.
Most people from New York, they know what Renaissance is.
Yeah, you do.
I wanted my dress from Renaissance, but I couldn't find nothing because I'm a plus size daddy. So
listen,
couldn't find nothing there. But anyway, uncancel culture. So we're gonna uncancel Miss Lil Mama.
Yes.
Now, and a lot of y'all know when Lil Mama got canceled. It was everywhere. I don't know what award show it was, but it was Jay-Z and Alicia Keys on stage. And somewhere miraculously, Lil Mama came out of the woodworks. And was like...
Listen.
And was throwing up the rock. And they sitting here looking like...
What?
Sis.
And she even backed up like...
Listen, that was her birthright.
Listen, comfortable.
She felt entitled to that moment. New York is me. Me is New York. New York is me. She felt that in her spirit. Okay,
absolutely.
It will go down as a moment in history. It's something that we'll never forget. But I'm uncanceling Lil Mama. Okay. I feel like Lil Mama has done a lot since that moment to redeem herself.
Okay.
And recently, it's worth mentioning that her and Alicia Keys have mended bridges with each other. Okay. They actually have embraced each other. She has apologized, and Alicia Keys has accepted her apology, and now we got sisterhood. Kumbaya.
Okay.
But I would like to uncancel Lil Mama because I feel like we be sleeping on Lil Mama.
Yeah,
we be sleeping.
She's all over. For the most part of what I've seen, she's all over Tubi. She has a lot of good movies on there.
The movies that I've seen, just to name a few.
Yeah.
When Love Kills, the Felicia Blake story.
She did amazing. Amazing.
Now I will say, Lil Mama, she can dance her tail. It was just weird to see her as a stripper.
Yeah.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, it was.
But nonetheless, she did an amazing job.
She did a really good job.
Not to mention, people don't even give her the respect. Put respect on Lil Mama's name. She played Lisa Left Eye Lopez in the Crazy Sexy Cool movie. And I think she did an amazing job.
And murdered that part.
Amazing.
She did amazing.
I think that they picked the best people that they could have to cast for that movie.
Absolutely.
Kiki Palmer, amazing.
Listen, I freaking
Drew Sidora. I mean, come on, T-Bars, amazing.
Yeah.
That was an amazing lineup for the time that movie came out.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you anymore.
And then we gotta think about the True to the Game series. She was a thug in the movie.
Thug life, okay?
And I can't even think of the movie. Oh my god. I cannot think of the name of this movie. But from social media, You remember the boy that blew up? His name was I am Rennie. Brown skin dude. I'm gonna put a picture up here for y'all because if y'all don't know who he is, but I'm about to pull up a picture for her because she know who I'm talking about. But yes, he was popular on social media. His name was Rennie. And so it's a movie that she actually plays in with him. And why is Instagram forsaking me at the moment? But
oh yeah.
So he was popular for a period of time.
Yeah.
Now she plays in a movie with him where he's her husband.
Really?
That when I tell you, I cannot think of the name of
What's
that
the name of the movie? Because now I want to see it.
Oh, hold on. All right. We're gonna do a quick little search.
Listen, now
movie with Rennie and Lil Mama. And see what comes up. Because, now I said it to say, Fruits of the Heart. That's what I thought it was. Fruits of the Heart. I'm not going to give y'all a spoiler alert. But I will tell you that movie is going to have you crying at the end of the movie. That, when I tell you, chef's kiss. Little Mama deserves a Oscar for that movie.
Fruits of the Heart.
That movie was amazing. I did not see that movie going where it went. I cried like a baby at the end.
Did you? What thing is it on TV?
So when I watched it, I'm pretty sure I watched it on maybe Tubi's at the time, but I don't think that it's on Tubi anymore.
Okay.
But yes, I will definitely, let me see where to watch. It says it's on Amazon Prime. I'm sure you could probably find other places to watch it, but that movie is amazing. So, what the? Listen, this cat always finds something different to wow me every stinking day.
We can't make this up.
This cat, he tries me like a kid because he ain't never got his butt up there before that I have seen.
Listen.
Anyway, we ain't gonna let Gotti distract us.
Gotti.
But the point is...
Get out. Get down.
The point is...
Now.
They ain't got no business.
Get out.
Okay?
Scoot.
Anyway.
Oh my
Way.
Listen, back to the
problem at hand.
Yes.
What is the movie? Like, he done made me forget the name of the movie just that day going quick. Fruit of the Heart.
Fruit of the Heart.
I highly recommend it.
Okay.
But yeah, we putting Lil Mama back on the shelf. Put some respect on her name. Sis is not only a great dancer, she may not be the best rapper.
Yeah, she's She's
a great dancer,
yeah,
but she's also a great actress.
Yeah.
I stand behind her. There's two people that I feel like did a great transition from what they were doing before. That's Lil Mama and Erica Mena. So we want to give you your flowers. But yes, that was all.
That was a mouthful again, but it's okay.
We always got a lot to talk about. Hopefully y'all stay tuned.
Please stay tuned. Like, subscribe,
Yes, but thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Sistah Talk Podcast. I am your sister. Gold Chain Diva. And this is my sister,
Miss BD. And please don't forget, it's with a Z.
Yep, so look us up on social media. You can find me at goldchain__diva. You can find my co-host at
Miss BD MZ_ and Ask BD.
And we would love to hear from you all in the comments. So drop us some comments. Make sure you run that like button up. Make sure you share with anybody that you feel like would benefit from watching these episodes. We
Absolutely.
love it.
Yes.
And we will try to give y'all more interesting content in the second season, y'all.
Absolutely.
So thank y'all for rocking with us for a whole 4 seasons.
Yes.
And we will see y'all again next Monday.